Hey, what's up, YouTube? Mark, Pressfit Productions here, and we have decided to go to MOAB. Last year, we made a last-minute decision to go to MOAB for Easter Jeep Safari. It was awesome. I wheeled with IH Parts America, Jeff, Zaid, met Corey, Caleb. It was a great trip. I only ran a couple trails when I went out because I didn't really have anybody to go with, and Jeff was busy doing his stuff with the Ultimate or Unreal Adventure people. And, I didn't want to be a nuisance. So I kind of went out and did fins and things, did a couple of other things banging around. It was a short trip, but I got to taste. Fans on. So this year, I've decided to sign up for Full-Size Invasion. Full-Size Invasion is for technically big full-size rigs, K5s, 800 series, Chevs, Suburbans, full-size rigs. They'll let other rigs on if they're semi-capable or capable, like the Haas Scout. They put a sticker on there evidently that says that, how does it say? Identify as full-size, whatever. But they let other rigs on. I'm doing that run because for a small fee, I get 5 days of known runs. And for someone who's never been to MOAB at one time, that's, for me, super important. And knowing that I'll be wheeling with full sizes, while they fully get it, and some of those rigs that those guys run are badass, I'm going to be able to hopefully keep up and not totally thrash my rig if I don't drive like a moolie. So this video is the first one of a couple of things that I'm going to be doing to the rig just to get it ready, but also because it's already middle of February and the wheeling season will be quickly upon us. So this video is to install some old school glass lens bulbs, retrofit some of my wiring from my rock lights, consolidate some relays, and basically add these to the front of the rig working so that we can have halogen, good depth of light, and a high wattage. These are 130 watt bulbs, H3 style. Everything else is LED and kind of 4,000, 6,500K light. So white, blue, clear, surgical. These will add some warmth at 130 watt. It should be awesome. So let's check this out, see how I consolidate some of my wiring on an old school butch together rig. So like I mentioned, these are old school halogen bulb, glass lens. I got these at a swap meet in Packwood, Washington about 9 years ago, and they have been floating around the garage downstairs and now here in the shop in inventory. Man, since then, rather than use these Hella 500s, which are plastic lens, not cool, still cool, but not cool, we're going to go with these metal housing. You can see they got a little surface rust. And at one point, I had actually scuffed the top of this, thinking that I was going to get after refinishing it. I kind of wish now that I hadn't touched them, because when you look at this patina and then the rest of the front bumper on the Haas Scout, it actually kind of matches. But it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how we want to wire these up and install them. I had gotten LED cartridges, but the LEDs, they just wasn't good. So we're going to stick with the halogen H3s, and then we're going to do a little trick on these later in a separate video. But for now, we're going to show wiring and how I'm going to mount these up. So one of the first things you need to look at least how I look at things, is approach angle. When I mounted these, I decided I either wanted them out here, like this, or I wanted them maybe even up in this region. But these are good. Those are good, and I have blinkers. So I started to move them in with some quick clamps and move them in with quick clamps, and finally got to the point where it was like, well, whoa, 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 whoa. If I have these lights right here, I can still use my winch remote, which I rarely use because I have in-cab remote. You'll see that in a second. But I can actually grab the 80 to 70 front mount bolts and reuse some thick material 90-degree tabs that I've had in inventory for years And like a grouchy old man, yes, I can finally use these things that I've been hoarding. All it took was getting a slightly longer bolt from here to grab the square nut of the mount for the 8270. And yes, I'm saying 8270 for you people that don't know. And 8270 is the, right before you know it, 8274. So the 8270 is power out, power in only, no free spool. This was right before they decided to do free spool. The casting is here. They must have been in the works to manufacture it. And technically, if I had a top cover and the pawl and the yoke, I could, I'm told, retrofit on 8274 top cover and mechanicals to get free spool. But the thing is with power out, why would you free spool? So anyway, this is where they're going to live, and positioned forward like they should be and slightly out all the way. I'll be able to get that remote in there if need be, and they're going to be sick. They don't get in the way of the LED, the blinker, the headlight, and there's minimal reflection from this LED on here. That's going to be great. So that's where they're going to live, and they stay nice and high and tight, so my approach angle isn't too affected at all by having lights down here. Anyway, so that's where they're going to live. On to wiring. So I've had this switch panel since probably about 2008. In-cab winch controls, winch on, in, out, the lights all light up. It works. It's a momentary switch. Winch kill for main power. Rear rock light, front rock light, those LED front lights that you saw. I don't want to drill another hole, so I'm going to go ahead and consolidate the rock lights into this switch. Maybe this one, but probably into this switch. And then relabel it. And the reason I'm going to do that is because they're LED rock lights, and I've got switches and relays for front and rear. They're like 30 amp relays. I don't know why I did that. It was almost 20 years ago, so 18 years ago. But I thought I needed relays on everything. I think because at the time they were little halogens, and I thought I needed relays. And actually I probably did. But now that they're all LED, this is overkill. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these switches and all the signal wiring that already exists in the harness. We're going to move over out at the relays and grab the output wire. But then up here, we're going to leave this alone and hook up at the relay for this guy and go right out to the new lights. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are on my relay wall. And you can see here I've got front rock lights, rear rock lights, low beam, high beam, horn, EFI, and fuel pump. These were added when I put on the Sniper fuel injection. This horn, that's because it's loud as hell. And at the time, I had Halogen H4 style, so definitely a relay for high and low beam. And I ran a whole new harness because the stock harness was crap. So the stock harness on the headlights is just doing a small signal wire out here, and then the new harness comes out and runs all the way out to the front of the rig. The rock lights, like I said, they all run back here through this crappy harness I have, and they were Halogen Walmart specials. They are now LED. So rear rock light and front rock light. This on a standard Bosch style relay, that's my output. So what we're going to do is take this guy and simply go over to here, so that when I turn on the right now rear rock light, it's going to turn all four rock lights on, because really that's all you need. I did have them separate. I thought it'd be cool. I always turn them on both at the same time. All four, let's go. So this guy is going to land over here. I'll splice it in nice and clean. I'm not going to run a new wire, but it'll look nice. But this guy is going to be 100% effective, all 4 lights. This switch and this relay from up there at the dash that I showed you, it's going to get relabeled to front halogens or 7-inch halogens or safari light, something like that. And we're just going to simply grab that output right there. I don't have to do anything else. That output right there, and run it out to the front to those lights. And we'll probably ground out there somewhere on the front bumper. At any rate, that's my relay wall. You can see here. All right, so as you can see, we moved the front rock light, merged it together with the rear rock light on this relay. 4 LEDs. This is a 30 amp breaker or relay. Should be more than sufficient, obviously. I had enough slack in this. I was able to pull back through this harness here, which this one comes through into this harness. It comes down through here. And that's what runs to the front. You can see here I had enough slack. I was able to pull through here. And then this harness goes over here to the HEI. But I was able to pull through and gang these two together. I put some black shrink tape on the front. I'll put a F with a paint pen on here later, just to denote that that's the front line or the front wire, just in case there's ever an issue. So I at least know what's going on. And I'll change this label this week. So this one is now available for the front lights, and change these labels when we're done. But for now, we're going to go ahead and move up here and start laying out a harness to feed through here, up somewhere, come along the winch cables and up into these relays. Well, I think this is a good time to end it for the night. I'm beat. I got a late start. Work week starts tomorrow, so I think we're going to leave it here for the night. Come back and slap at it tomorrow afternoon. But here's what we did. As you can see, we built a little bit of harnesses to keep the braided line from pulling out like it had been on the stock lights. Threw a zip tie on it so it can't back out. Zip tie on it so it can't back out. Kept the steel braided line since that's what the grommet's sized for. Then went in and where I spliced in for my power runs, we've got the loom. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go loom and then loom just like this. This will keep this up and out of the way. Fold these two around here like this. I'm going to wrap grounds to the ground for the motor. Seems like a good ground. And then run the 2 power wires. I could splice these together, but at 130 watt and 130 watt, I don't want to splice. So we'll run these 2 down as a dedicated 2-wire harness. And with the lights being grounded here, I'll only have to run the 2 wires up to the relay. It tethers the lights together. I should have probably sprayed them before I lashed them together, but we can do that right here. We'll just go ahead and rough this up, maybe throw a little bit of satin on top later. But for now, I think that's how we're going to run the harnesses. This guy's snaked up in here, this guy up in here. I thought about coming across with it like this. That's the way it's kind of up and out of the way. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But that's a tomorrow problem. Well, it's day 2, but it's technically not day 2. As typical probably at your house and as mine, It's actually been a couple days, but coming back out, and we're going to get wrapped up on these lights and this install. Going to wrap these up, run the harness up to the relay wall, then take the zip ties off and pull the cans so that I can paint them. But tonight we're going to see them light up. One thing that we did note is I am going to route this guy right here. I was going to run him here and then over and then bring the two harnesses equidistant together. But I think what I'm going to do is run this guy across the front just to keep this tight so there's nothing across where this goes. Well, you saw it. Sometimes it just works out that way. Fed the harness up. You can see here I did like I said. These two go together. The two grounds will come around here like this and their own loom. Split them up. And then the two power wires cross over into this guy. The ground is that way. So I'll be grounded on the winch motor. Fed this guy through. You saw all that. So I was trying to see if I could feed it through up in here. But man, I don't want to have to take this front fascia off. And then I thought, well, I'll just be smart, take the overflow bottle off. And then I saw this guy right there. One hole. That's what I got right there. One hole. So let's go ahead and take the battery out. Gives me room here. I can now go ahead and pull this harness up, out. Run it, zip tie it along nice like it should be into here. And then this guy's already, I'm not doing anything with that. That's in there, it's tight. So what I'll do, run the harness along here, zip tie it. I don't think I got room in that clamp. Maybe I can go one size up in the clamp, but I'll zip tie it up to these guys nice and neat. Loom it in. And then I'll pop a new speed hole. I'll pop a new speed hole right above it. We'll pass through right there. Then drop back down and re-zip tie here. And then bring it in here and terminate it in this huge junction box menagerie right there. We're almost there. Anyway, I'm going to take care of that right now. And let's go. And we're terminated. You guys saw it. Come through the speed hole, lined up on this harness. Again, don't mind the Thailand, Philippine-looking power line junction block on the relay there, but runs down underneath. I went ahead and cleaned up some of these power lines that were, I don't know what I was doing through the years, but this thing's 20 plus years old in my ownership, and it's, you know, scabbed together. So, but you can see here, I went ahead and I got this guy all cleaned up, 2-into-1, crimped, put some shrink tape around it just for insulation, and then got some tape wrap around the loom. And man, that's probably the best connection on the whole block here. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and maybe do some cleanup work, and then maybe at the end of this video we'll see these things light up. So stay tuned just for a second. All right, everybody, so got it all wrapped up. As you can see, did some cleaning up. Grounds are relanded. Positives relanded. Sniper EFIs back on its dedicated terminals. Super important. Got the wear strip protector back on there. Cleaned up down here. Cleaned up, just cleaned up a little bit, you know? Got to tidy up a little bit. Everything's landed. Relay wall is cleaned up. I need to relabel that, like I said, and I will. But let's go ahead and fire it up. Let's see what these lights look like. Ooh, I don't know where to go. I'm excited. Key. All right. Sniper engaged. Rock lights. Nice. All 4 on one switch. Nice. Well, there we go. Definitely bluer than the video showing. Dash light works. And here's these guys. Woo-wee! Holy humdinger now. Wow! Look at that. That's some old school battery draining halogens right there, buddy. Wow. It's so warm. Look at that. Holy cannoli. Shop is bright. Let's go ahead and turn everything else on. Why not? Let's just see what that does to the battery. Turn that off. It's 11.5. 12. All right. Rock lights. Driving lights. Dash lights. Dash lights, I think, are on high beam still. Wow. Look at that. No question, there's plenty of light now. Look at that. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Click like, subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. Listen to me drone about some old school Baja style steel can, glass lens, Baja lights.